Hello, good people of the internet. Welcome back to another episode. Right up ahead here, we have a unusual situation. I think it might have been a hit and run. See some broken items on the road there. So in this situation, again, if there's oncoming traffic, you should always yield and stop and wait. If there's no oncoming traffic, you can go around as long as it's, again, clear and safe. So don't go into the other side of the road if there's oncoming traffic. Okay, you don't have the right of way in that situation when you're going around something, or an item or an object or a vehicle or a person or whatever it is. Just like here, I have more space here, obviously. So I have more space to go around. Luckily, the vehicle on the other side has a red light, so I have even more space. There's no oncoming traffic, but you always need to respect oncoming traffic. So going onto the other side of the yellow line, you have to be careful that you don't do that and you respect oncoming traffic. I've said this in the last episode. I've been seeing a lot more accidents and incidents and just people driving poorly, and there's an accident up ahead. If you notice a little bit of smoke, person got rear-ended, someone wasn't paying attention. I'll slow it down a little bit. So it's a yield. That guy probably was looking to his left or possibly on his phone. You should always look in front of you and behind you at the same time, or simultaneously as much as possible. Terrible lane change. Almost gets into an accident. Check your blind spots. That's what shoulder checks are for. This video was sent to me by a friend of mine. This lady recognized that he's trying to get in and he's in a truck, and she's going to back up and almost backs into a car behind her. And luckily he honked, and now this is why you just don't let people in. Okay, and he was, you know, kind of resistant, but she did let him in. She backed up. There is no left turn here, and people do this all the time. Do U-turns, or they just turn left into the parking lot from this side. Especially if there's someone behind you. Like, you shouldn't be doing stupid shit like that. No right turn. Check the Tesla out. That's why there is no right turn, because you're slowing down traffic behind you. It's dangerous, it's stupid, it's irresponsible, all those things, but people just don't care, especially as of lately. That's a right turning lane, so you're supposed to turn right with a signal, not go straight. That's going straight through a roundabout. Learn how to go through roundabouts or traffic circles. Look at this truck. I mean, just such an idiot. And he's got more space on the left-hand side. You don't have to take this turn this wide and this fast. But these guys are also getting a lot more irresponsible. I'm sure we've been reading about them hitting overpasses and just doing stupid, irresponsible things. It's an epidemic, to be honest with you. Truck drivers, I'm not going to get into it, but it's bad. When you're turning on green, always yield to pedestrians if they are crossing or about to cross, as long as the sign is on. You know, I mean, if they jaywalk, either way, in this case, clearly they're not. So you have to give them a little bit more space. In this case, I told my student to wait maybe another second or two, but look at this fool. Death wish. Don't do drugs. You know, fentanyl city, this is what's happening. That's just a terrible turn. That's not a safe gap. Ay, ay, ay. Same thing here. Not a safe gap. You had a stop sign there, Tesla. Turning left. Don't follow the car in front of you. Always check for visibility. I've entered, exit on the yellow, no problem. The opposite should have happened here. I mean, you have a guy essentially jaywalking or crossing a lane with a shopping cart, and then that guy just running a yellow. I mean, both of us running a yellow, I guess, at some point. That's why you always got to check for pedestrians before you turn in any direction at any intersection. That's what shoulder checks are for. At least just scan the intersection. Just look, look a little bit to your left and to your right before you start turning. I mean, those things are pretty easy.
Good.
I mean, just what is happening? It's insanity. It's absolute insanity what I've been noticing on the roads. And then you got this guy. Has no idea what he's doing. And then he's just going to bust a U-turn in the middle of the intersection, which is illegal. In this case, even, yes. That is a controlled intersection. There's a stop sign on the other side. That's a left turning lane. You're not supposed to go straight there. And there were cars actually honking at this guy for about a minute prior to that. And I'm going to clear the intersection. This is still fine. Very similar situation here. It's just so idiotic, but beyond my comprehension. This is what shoulder checks are for. And in this case, yeah, you should slow down or possibly stop before turning right. And in this case, yes, the cyclist would have the right of way as long as they're going straight. Yeah, I'm pretty sure you're not supposed to go straight there. And that's also a bike lane now. And you almost hit that car. I mean, it's shocking. It's absolutely shocking at this point what's happening. If someone stops, that doesn't mean they stop for you. That means they're stopping possibly because the intersection's not clear, or their lane is not clear, or they're stopping to yield to traffic, or because not to block the intersection for various reasons. So don't just assume, but if you have a gap in this case, then obviously you can go through the intersection as long as you know that the other vehicles will remain stopped, or at least, you can assume. But you should make that assumption based on some sort of a communication or, really good observation and experience, I guess. I always say don't assume anything, but I guess it is an assumption or of some sort. Because this intersection here is very confusing. There are train tracks behind me, so sometimes there's a train and cars do stop for the train. So there's a lot of variabilities here, unfortunately. But it doesn't matter how long I'll wait here. I'm going to wait here as long as I need to until I have a safe gap, until the flow of traffic stops, until there's a break, until maybe vehicles stop for me in a certain situation. That can happen. But I'm not going to assume they're stopping for me just because they stop and they leave a gap. See, like the other lane has stopped, but now the lane closest to me was moving, and now the opposite is happening. So I'm just going to keep waiting. And there was actually a train behind me. That's just what happened. There you go. Now I have a safe gap. I'm going to proceed. So this is kind of a long section of the video, but I've had questions about this particular left turn multiple times, and this is probably like one of the most confusing situations I've had, at least in a while. Someone's turning right, so I need to stop behind them. This is why you need to have good following and stopping distance with vehicles, because this is an unpredictable situation, but it happens, and you have to be ready for these, and you will be if you have enough distance and space. Just like here when people stop for no reason before turning left. Scared of the bus. It's a close call, but since I'm already in the process of turning, it's raining, I'm just going to clear the intersection. That's still fine, in my opinion. when you're exiting from any driveway, side street, essentially, as long as there's a sidewalk in front of you, you should always treat that as a stop sign. So this is why now pedestrians have to walk around the vehicle. If you do this on your road test, you can actually fail, especially when there's a lot of pedestrians or just any pedestrians crossing. It really depends on the examiner, but I've had students who failed for these situations when they were stuck in the intersection, you know, blocking a crosswalk or possibly a sidewalk. So you're supposed to stop here and scan from here and check here once you have a safe gap. Then, you know, again, sometimes you do have to creep up to improve your visibility. I get that. And it's not always going to be perfect, but you try to do your best. Avoid those situations as much as possible. Obviously, specifically on your road test, but at all times, because we need to keep pedestrians safe and each other. Had a safe gap, proceeded forward. Again, I'm going to yield here in this situation. I should have put this video earlier. There's oncoming traffic here, and I didn't know what this truck was going to be doing. I thought maybe they were done. Obviously, he's moving forward again and then back. Now we're good to go. So always stop and wait. That's the safest option in most situations. And this person really needs to go to Costco, get those chicken wings or whatever they're selling over there. I don't know. I've only been to Costco once in my life. I don't shop at Costco because it's just stupid, but you know, whatever you do, you just find another way, man. You know, don't impede traffic for your own convenience. Terrible. Anyways, that's it. That's all. See you next time.